Good evening, I am Becky Wilcox and I bring you the shocking news on the recent catastrophic aviation disaster, the deadliest on US soil in 23 years. An American Airlines jet collided mid-air with a military helicopter, leaving no survivors. 67 lives lost in an instant. The black boxes have now been recovered, but what really happened in those final moments? And why was this flight carrying some of the world's most elite athletes? Stay with me, because this tragedy raises more questions than answers. At 9 p.m. Wednesday, the congested airspace over the Potomac River became the scene of unimaginable devastation. A regional American Airlines bombardier jet, carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, was en route when it collided mid-air with a military helicopter carrying 3 people. Moments later, both aircraft plunged into the icy river. Search teams have now recovered 27 bodies from the plane and 1 from the helicopter. But the reality is grim. There are no survivors. This disaster is now the worst US aviation tragedy in more than 2 decades. But how could this happen in one of the busiest, most heavily monitored airspaces in the country? And was this collision preventable? Investigators have now retrieved the flight data and voice recorders from the wreckage, holding critical clues to the final moments before impact. One troubling fact stands out. Just a day before the crash, another plane had to abort its landing due to a helicopter obstructing its path. Was this a warning sign that was ignored? The Potomac Corridor is one of the most crowded and high-risk airspaces in the country. With an air traffic system stretched thin, are we seeing the consequences of a dangerously overburdened aviation network? Among those lost were US figure skaters, coaches and family members, returning from a training camp in Wichita, Kansas. 2 former Russian world champions, Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov, were on board. Mississippi mourns Army Chief Warrant Officer Andrew Eves, killed in the crash. In Washington, D.C., 2 top attorneys from a high-profile law firm, Elizabeth Keyes and Sarah Lee Best, never made it home. Governors from Connecticut, Georgia, and beyond are now offering condolences as communities grapple with the profound loss. The victims were more than just passengers. They were parents, athletes, and professionals whose lives were cut tragically short. But instead of waiting for the investigation, political blame is already flying. President Trump immediately blamed diversity programs for the crash, a claim dismissed as baseless by former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. With GOP lawmakers warning against rushed conclusions, the crash is already igniting a heated debate. But amidst the political noise, the real question remains: was this a preventable tragedy? As recovery efforts continue, investigators are racing to piece together the truth behind this devastating disaster. Were lapses in air traffic control a factor? Was this an unavoidable accident? Or is there a larger systemic failure at play? One thing is certain, this story is far from over, and here at Insight News TV, we'll bring you every new development as it unfolds. Do you think this crash could have been prevented? Who should be held accountable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, like, share and subscribe for real-time updates and deep dive analysis, only on Insight News TV. Stay informed, stay ahead.